So I'm gonna talk to you about a zombie action movie that I wanna create. So I have some title ideas, but they're all draft. So there's Survive Among the Dead, C for All, and Diary of the Living. All of them will make sense as I go on talking. So the story and mise en scène are similar to a few different TV shows and movies, such as The Walking Dead, I Am Legend, and The Book of Eli. So The Walking Dead, the story will be kind of the same as it's in the zombie apocalypse, and it's action scenes will be really intense, but the story will be really dramatic. So in I Am Legend, it's only following one main character, which my story will as well. And the same with the Book of Eli, where it's just following one guy. What also will be similar is the audience. So I'm following kind of like a teenage to young adult in the audience. So for the plot of the whole movie is it starts off about 2 years in the zombie apocalypse. The film will focus on one character who's a teenager who's been surviving more or less alone throughout the whole zombie apocalypse, and it's going to go through how he's trying to cope with surviving without family, and how his family and all friends, they died more or less at the start, and he's been alone through the whole series. It's kind of like I Am Legend, but what's special with mine is it's following a teenager and how it's breaking him down, and he's trying to survive both physically and mentally. So yeah, the parents and friends, I'll be talking about how they died about 1 month after the zombie apocalypse, and how at that time he was just a normal teenager, nothing special going on, and how he's basically turned into a killing machine, kind of. So the opening of my video, as you see here, is the location. The locations I've been scouting about 4 locations, and they're all in the forest. Because if you watch The Walking Dead, you know that in the zombie apocalypse, big cities will be overrun with zombies, so no one really goes there anymore. So they all try and survive on land roads or countrysides and stuff like that. The clothing I'm going to be using is more or less what you would expect to see in a zombie apocalypse. So the zombies will be wearing run-down, dirty clothes, and the survivors will be wearing like good walking trousers and clothes you would expect to see in a zombie apocalypse. So the props in my opening, there will be a few weapons, so a knife and bow and arrow. The reason I've chosen these are because they're really silent weapons, and zombies are attracted by noise, so that's not guns and stuff like that. They're not too well to be used. And the main character will also be wearing a backpack because he's traveling alone, so he has to have all his gear with him and stuff. He will also be finding a diary. After 2 years, he'll find a diary, which will be very important to the story because he'll be writing about that, trying to stay strong mentally by writing through this, and hopefully someone will find out, know his story. The diary will also fit with a voiceover that I'll have in the opening sequence. So the voiceover will kind of tell the story of how it's been 2 years since the outbreak, and so on. I'll also use batteries in the opening, because batteries will be used as a currency in that time. So if you know Fallout 4, or they use bottle caps as currency, and I kind of want to use the same idea. So there will be safe havens around the world where basically people are trying to build a civilization again, and you can go there and use batteries for ammunition or food and try and survive that way. So the 2-minute opening will be my main character just walking along the road, and he'll find an abandoned car, and in the car there's going to be a corpse and the diary which he finds at that time. So again, there's going to be a voiceover over my whole opening. I have a draft of my storyboard, but going to actually see the locations, I know I have to change a few things in my final storyboard. So the voiceover, as I said, it'll be talking about the whole 2 years kind of, but in a very short and just like notes. So how his family's been murdered, and how batteries are used in currency, and how safe havens are around the world. I'm not sure about a soundtrack yet, but if I use one, it's going to be really quiet so it doesn't interfere with the voiceover. So casting, as the main character, I'm going to cast myself. So I'll be playing, but I'm not sure if you will actually see my face in the opening, so it kind of stays a mystery, or what I'll do there. And I have help from some year 13s for the filming, and some maybe some zombies if I choose to have those in. I have no production schedule as of yet, but I have an idea of when to start filming. So that was my pitch for my zombie action movie. And any questions?
Thank you, Chris. So you talked a lot about actually kind of the whole plot of the movie. So you have kind of summed up a bit there at the end about what exactly will be contained in the 2 minutes of the film opening. So to clarify, you're talking about focusing on this one character, and he's in this forest, etc., etc. And then the voiceover is going to make the connections to what has happened to him. Okay. So the locations, I like the locations you've chosen, but what's really standing out to me is, you know, you've obviously filmed these with the bright blue sky in the middle of the day. Have you decided what would be an appropriate time of day?
Well, I think I'm gonna have this time of day, but when I actually edit it, the color scheme will be a bit browner, kind of.
Okay, so you're going to work with the editing software. So what editing software are you planning on using?
Adobe Pro.
Okay, and you've used that before?
Yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned the production schedule, or you know you need to start. So when do you need to start? How much filming do you need to do?
Well, I'll probably go back to the where I filmed this weekend, just to make sure that I know where I start filming, where the car is going to be placed, and then hopefully in the next 2 weeks I'll get my crew over there to show them my idea and maybe have some draft film.
Okay, and then I mean I know you were scouting for locations, and it's all handheld. So what do you suggest you're going to do for the filming? Is it going to be a handheld camera?
No.
Okay, so
it's gonna follow more how the Walking Dead film. So it's gonna be more or less just place cameras, but in that there's gonna be drama.
Okay. Okay. And then you're talking about this abandoned car. How are you going to create the sense of the car being abandoned?
Well, I have this idea that I'm gonna just take down the window of the car and break glass, just maybe wine bottles or something, and put that down on the ground, so it looks like it's been broken, and dirt is going to be around the car.
Okay. Adele, questions?
For the characters, for your cast, do you have any particular criteria which you then follow to get your cast, for example?
Well, seeing as I'm probably the only one going to be in the shot, the cast is more or less just camera people and stuff like that.
So when you mentioned the zombies and survivors, it's only that you're going to talk about them, not that you're actually planning on showing.
I'm not too sure yet. I might have one zombie with non-diegetic sound over, so just makes it more clear.
Okay. Okay.
That actually leads to my question, because I was meant to ask, if you do have a zombie in there, how do you intend to work on costume and the whole makeup and everything?
Well, my plan so far is if I have one, you'll only see the back of the zombie. So it's more the costume that will be playing a part, not the makeup. And if I use that zombie, it's probably just going to be ripped clothing, because it's probably been out there for a year or two, so it's going to look really run down. And
Okay, thank you very much, Chris.